Welcome back to Weekend Smile. Last week, Jamaica's Film Commission led a delegation of 8 filmmakers and animators to Cape Town, South Africa for MIP Fame Week to foster international collaborations and showcase Jamaican talent globally. Here to share their experience and to tell us what this could mean for the local film industry, our documentary director, writer and editor, Michael Kushney, and COO and head of production of The Lab, Tashara Lee Johnson. Hi guys, how are you doing?
Hi.
Welcome to Weekend Smile. So I just mentioned that, international collaborations and showcasing local talent was the goal, of heading off to South Africa. Why was MIP the place for that?
I think, MIP Africa is where we went to, and I think Africa has been an untapped into market by us within this industry. In Jamaica specifically, I think we tend to go to the US or Canada, and I think all of us know that Nigerian film, African film is just a huge market now. And so we saw that as an opportunity to go and get exposed, meet connects, and kind of learn from them so we can implement the same practices here, both for export and for service.
Okay, a little bit of networking took place as well. Not even a little bit, but a lot of networking. How was the experience for you, Michael?
I mean, just to even add to what Tashara was saying, one of the biggest challenges that I face as a filmmaker and a lot of filmmakers face locally is distribution for your stories. You know what I mean? So like, for example, me going there, I only selected meetings with people who were like potential distributors, people who acquired content, like people who were buying, licensing content. And just to see that that opportunity exists there, not just in South Africa, because it exists also in Kenya, Nigeria, in a lot of the other African countries, there are opportunities there. I think that was the biggest reward for me to know that, all right, now you used to complain that, that you don't have distribution and you have nowhere for your content. Here's a whole continent that's ready for our content. And then also here are like parameters where them have like, okay, you can do collaboration where maybe if, like I remember we were at one of the sessions and Ben, one of the VPs from Netflix, he was talking and, like one of the questions I asked him was, what plans does Netflix have, for integrate like Caribbean filmmakers? And even though he doesn't have jurisdiction in this area, something simple as putting a Nigerian in your story, putting a Kenyan in your story.
It makes a world of a difference.
And it gets you on that Africa platform, what I mean? Which gets you into those numbers. And one of the biggest things is that even as a Caribbean, there's like 13 million people are less than collectively. That's like one evening in traffic in Lagos, what I mean? So being able to bring your stories now to a platform that has more numbers where you can now start discuss like revenue and them kind of thing. I think that was the most positive.
I was actually going to ask you in terms of the discussion, how do you kind of steer that discussion? I mean, of course, you want to build those relationships. You want to ensure that after you've left the space, you can pick up your phone or send an email and they remember you, right? But I'm sure you're going to be talking about revenue. You're going to talk about what are some of the things that you possibly need to change within your film and how you go about certain things. So in terms of those kind of conversations, you kind of touched on it, but I don't know if you want to elaborate a little bit more about some of the things that you possibly have to do just to get a little bit more eyes here, in Jamaica and for Jamaican filmmakers.
Well, as I said, still, I only can use myself as an example. One of the things that I think is good about MIP is that it's very clear as to what your purpose is as a content creator, as a content producer. So when you're selecting the meetings, you're telling them exactly, hey, I have a documentary, it's finished, and I'm looking, distribution for it. So it's very clear what. So by the time you meet with these persons, is either you show them a trailer or you're talking about what are the possibilities in terms of numbers and budget. So those conversations are ready.
They know what you're about from the get-go.
They know what it is. So even when they meet with you, they'll be like, okay, well, really and truly, we only distribute features, but I like your documentary. I can probably point you in somebody's direction who is, better suited to what you're doing. So it was really those conversations. It wasn't like going there and, hey, what you doing? What I mean? And trying to figure it out. So now once you get back, it's just a matter of following up with the email and, telling people like, yo, it's the Jamaican them, because really made a big impact when we were there, you know what I mean?
Do you think that or would you say that opportunities like this are available outside, other parts of the world, in other parts of the world?
Yeah, absolutely. MIP is global. So they have MIP like Cancun, MIP Latin America, MIP France, MIP all over. And these are markets, like Michael said, with a purpose.
Yeah.
So a market is where you go to sell your content and somebody is there to buy. So they are looking for content because they want it to put on the platforms. They say it's a numbers game. People are constantly viewing. I mean, there's digital, there's phone, there's tablet, there's everything now. So they're in search of content that's refreshing as well. And I think one of the things that made us stand out, I would say, is Brand Jamaica.
Okay.
As crazy as it sounds, or we know that, but Brand Jamaica is a brand on its own. People would hear that we're there, just hear, like how we speak, see a flag, see a color, and be like, oh my God, I'm so interested, because Jamaica is so big in their eyes, just based on the impact we've had on the world. So I think seeing that we're capable of producing stories at the quality of what they're producing, a lot of people were gravitated towards that, and just seeing the diverse amount of content that we had. So it's not just, gangster films.
All the filmmakers had very different stories. We all had very different, stories. So I think that was also good to see from the buyer's standpoint.
And I'm sure the feedback was great.
Yeah, it was very positive.
Yeah,
it was very
good.
positive. And I think even at the end of the evenings when we gather and we talk, like everybody's meetings were very positive. And as a matter of fact, persons are saying like, you guys not coming with enough. You need to put
more.
all your stuff together to like sell to us, to show like a sell sheet to a major network. Like you're just coming with 2 and you have 3 and we need like 100 Jamaican movies. So I think that is the mission coming back now, to realize that it's really numbers. Like if you went there as 1 person or 2 person, probably wouldn't have had the impact as the numbers, and even going there and meeting Jamaicans from Canada and Jamaica from the US, and we're all realizing that we're one Jamaica same way.
Yeah, it's interesting that you touched on the mission. How do you envision this mission impacting the local film scene internationally? Who wants to take that one? How do you envision? Yeah.
I mean, as Michael said, our mission coming back is to, see what content we have here and collate it as a group, like one big catalog. There's a lot of existing content, a lot in development. I think with the Film Fund, or the GSDI as they call it, it will help to catapult that. I think internationally, this has created an avenue for us, in terms of we had access to people we can't talk to somebody from Netflix just like this and get their direct contacts, which that created. So I think, and they now have a idea of who we are, what we're working with in terms of the quality. So they can, attest for us in some sense.
Yeah.
And I think hopefully that matriculates or manifests into something being licensed or commissioned and getting the eyes from the global audience, including the diaspora, to then infuse either more jobs or more development of our own content.
Okay, guys, I have to close out though. Did anything from MIP wow you? Like when you went there, you're like, wow. Anything that...
A lot. I'll just say 2 things.
Yeah, you can tell me your 2 and then you tell me your 2 before we go.
Their film infrastructure is amazing. Like a lot of the things that we see, whether Deal or No Deal, Wheel of Fortune, One Piece on Netflix, it's all been filmed there. Wow. Chef Ramsay show, to me that is insane, from production to post-production, all of that. And then also, it's relatively very affordable. Like, I bought meals and they're coming up to like $500 Jamaican. So I'm like, no man, we need to go to Africa. So those 2 things.
Okay, how about you, Michael?
Well, for me, in terms of like the technical infrastructure was just like I kind of had an idea what the space was like already, but just going there and seeing how we were able to move through all of these different production companies, and they open up their place. You're walking into a post-production studio and somebody's there explaining what is it that they're doing. Everything was just a very open door, kind of candid thing. Is that the government is a part of it, the country, you're driving around, you're seeing billboards. Everybody just feels like, the country is invested in film and what the benefits are of film, because like I said, we went on a tour. Like there's a tour bus, you take a tour go Duns River. They're touring film studios,
Wow.
and
It's like
different parts of the country,
and everybody is involved. Yeah.
and everybody's working together. You know what I mean? Like when you go there and you go into somebody post-production, maybe they have a little gift bag for you or some free coffee or whatever. Like they're all a part of it.
Selling film.
They're all selling film.
Such a major contributor for their
economy.
And they understand the importance of it. And I'm hoping one day Jamaica will get to that place as well.
We will.
I think we're at that place. You know, the machinery just needs to move. But I think generally from the filmmaker standpoint, we're at that place. You know, we're ready to tell the stories, and you know, having a place to now put them once we tell them is a good thing.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us this morning, sharing your experiences and, of course, your stories with us. Documentary director, writer, and editor Michael Cushney, and COO and head of production of The Lab, Tashara Lee Johnson. More to come on Weekend Smile.